from the city is still. I'm from the city is still. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Picksburgh. My name is Anthony. I appreciate you joining me this morning for another episode of this sports card talk show that we do every single Saturday on either my channel or Everyday Im Hustlin's channel. As you can see this week, we're on your boys' channel. And this week, I decided it'd be a good time to talk about the National Sports Collectors Convention in Chicago, Illinois. It is coming up at the end of this month, and your boy's pumped up because that is legitimately like the Super Bowl of collecting cards. So I am fired up. This is going to be the first time I've ever gone to a show the size of the National, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've been doing a lot of research lately, and I thought today would just be a good day to kind of just plot out kind of what my plans, strategies, those types of things are in the National. And as being a first timer going to the National, I also thought it'd be helpful, just to discuss out loud the kind of things that I'm doing, that I have in mind, that I'm planning, because it can be a little bit overwhelming to go to something this size. Because, the biggest card show I've ever been to in my entire life so far has been like 100 tables. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. This is huge. But just to put that into comparison, the National is legitimately going to be at least 5x that. It could be up to 10x that, just, based on sheer volume of people and everything like that. You figure you're going to have industry leaders there, Panini's there, Topps is there, PSA's there, Beckett's there. There's all, like, basically anyone who's anyone in the hobby goes to the National. So in my opinion, this is a wonderful opportunity if you want to, learn, if you want to get connected with certain people. Like myself personally, like I want to go because, like, obviously I want to go look through some bargain bins. I want to look at some cards I can't afford. But honestly, like, the big thing for me is I just want to go and connect with people. I want to go and, meet people that I talk to on YouTube all the time, or people that I've watched on YouTube. I want to be able to bump elbows with people from, like, actual PSA, Beckett, Panini, Topps. Like, that's just super cool to me. You know what I mean? It's like going behind the scenes of the hobby almost. And most card shows don't really offer that type of uniqueness. So, what up, Mel? Good to see you. So, the National begins on July 28th, and it runs all the way till, I want to say, August the 1st. If I'm not mistaken, it might even be the 2nd. It's in Chicago, Illinois this year. It's going to be really awesome. It's essentially like the Super Bowl of sports card shows. There's literally everybody from the industry, like a lot of the industry experts and stuff go. What is up, Arturo? Good to see you, my man. Got Ryan in the house. Good to see you guys. So are you going to be going, Arturo? Because if you're going, bro, we definitely need to connect there, man. I'll be there with my buddy Huddle Card Collection. I did a live stream with him last night, and he whooped my butt in a pack battle. But I got a Brian Hayes, so I'm happy. So, oh yeah, definitely. If it was definitely in Pittsburgh, I'd have a whole crew of people coming in to hang out. That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. Hopefully one day it will be. One thing that the National does is they make sure that you have to have X amount of, like, free flowing space to be able to do it. So I know Pittsburgh has facilities that could potentially work. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure that the Monroeville Convention Center would probably be perfect for something like that. Now, I'm not sure, again, like the scale of this, like, so our Comic-Con is awesome. It's big, but it's nothing like the San Diego Comic-Con, so this sports card show in Chicago is essentially like the equivalent of the San Diego Comic-Con, where it's like the big one that, like, everybody, like, travels, from wherever to go to. What's up, Amy? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Day Dilla's in the house. What is up, my man? Got Hobby Beast in the house. Canada's finest. What is up, my man? Appreciate you being here. Yeah, we'll probably have Nate joining us here momentarily. He got caught up doing some stuff, so I figured rather than keep you guys waiting, I'll just go live because I felt like flapping my gums. So here I am. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, definitely appreciate all you guys being here. Next one close to us. I know somewhere buried on my desk here, I actually have a green piece of paper that has all of the local Pittsburgh and Youngstown shows on it, but I don't know where the heck I put it. Let me check my email because the guy who runs the shows here in Pennsylvania does send out emails every time a show comes. And it should have the dates for the rest of the year. So let me share my screen and I'll show you guys. Anyone that's local to Pittsburgh, Ohio, Gate City's in the house. What up, Paul? Good to see you, my man. That's a real one right there. If you guys aren't following Gate City Paul, make sure you check out my man. You guys will see him tomorrow during our auction. He is 1/3 of the most handsome YouTube auction on YouTube. I mean, I'm a little bit partial because I'm 1/3 of that. But I will share my screen and show any of you locals the card shows coming up here the rest of the year. So the next one is going to be at the Monroeville Mall, September 17th, 18th, and 19th. For those of you guys that are familiar, this is the same guy that runs the Westmoreland Mall shows that I've been to a bunch of times. And I've done like some video there, but that was before I was told I wasn't allowed to film there. So there's not a whole lot like of these local shows that like I normally put on my channel just because the guy that runs it has asked me not to. But I have no problem promoting it because I want the hobby in Pittsburgh to blow up and thrive. So yeah, September 17th, 18th, and 19th, Monroeville Mall is the next one. Then we got Southern Park Mall in Youngstown. I did go to the last one they had in Youngstown. Personally, I didn't think it was as good as the ones they have in Pittsburgh, but ultimately it was a lot of the same vendors. So it just depends on where you're closer to, in my opinion. Like I personally, I don't know that if I lived in Ohio that I would drive to Pennsylvania for these shows. And I don't know that if I lived in Pennsylvania, I would continue to drive to Ohio for them either, just because they're not like, they're good, don't get me wrong, but they're just not as big as, you know, some of the other shows that a lot of people would travel for. And then he's back at the Westmoreland Mall, October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And then he's in Monroeville again in November 5th and 6th. So these are done by Joe's Sports Cards. Nice guy. You know, he's run these shows for a long time in Pittsburgh and Youngstown, like those areas. So really cool guy. Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you guys ever want to go to a show or some card shops and you're going to be in the area, if you just let me know, like my schedule is normally pretty busy. So if you give me a little bit of notice, I can probably build some time in to meet up with you and, you know, go look for cards and stuff. But yeah, Mel, I would love that. Absolutely. Anytime. But yeah, this national is something I'm super excited about. I've been doing a lot of research, just looking into the different stuff. Like they have packages. Like, so the national is a big enough show that you have to actually pay to get into it. And they have these different packages that I've been looking into, like VIP packages, like where some you even get in early. Some of them you know, might get like free parking or X, Y, and Z, but they all include free autographs because there's going to be a lot of famous athletes there signing and stuff from like all different generations of, you know, all the different sports and stuff like that. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I want to try to connect, if I can, as much with like industry professionals too. Like I think it's going to be really cool and unique to just be able to like go up and talk to somebody that works for PSA or works for Beckett. Like, even if they're not like Dr. James Beckett or Nat Turner, like, man, just to like pick their brain, like how cool must that be? You know, what's it like working for a company that's like literally so popular that you're so overrun you have to shut down? Like, that's just, it blows my mind. Like that, it's awesome. Yeah, let me pull the website up and I'll show you all the people that are going to be signing. share my screen here. So if anyone's interested, the website for the show is just nsccshow.com, which just stands for the National Sports Collectors Convention, just like short for it. So here's the website, and it's July 28th through August 1st. So I'm pretty sure that's like a Wednesday through Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Chris, this is my very first national. The biggest show I've ever been to before this had 100 tables, and I felt like I was at Disney World. So this is going to blow my mind, I'm pretty sure. Cool thing is I'm going to be hanging out with the guys over at Huddle Card Collection pretty much the whole time. My buddy Alan is going to be coming to hang out as well, Hot Hands Hoshik. So it's going to be nice. And plus, I know so many people, like Card Collector 2 is going to be there. I would not be surprised to see like Sports Card Investor and a lot of the big channels that we watch will be there. So I think it's going to be kind of cool to kind of rub elbows with some of them guys too. Yeah, I'll definitely be going to Trade Night, DJ. Absolutely, 100%. I'm looking forward to it. I've actually never been to a trade night at like a card show. Like I've done trades at card shows just with like vendors and other people, but like I've never actually gone to like something that was specifically centered around trading. I've gone once or twice to a couple LCSs when they did it, but like never on anything this big a scale. And one thing that's really cool, I've been watching a lot of videos, just kind of researching, trying to figure out best use of my time, because the way I look at this, like anytime I'm not in Pittsburgh working, I'm essentially losing money. So I want to make sure that if I'm going to take like 5 days away from my life here in Pittsburgh, I want to capitalize and make sure that that time is used most efficiently. You know what I mean? So like there's some tangible things I need to do to make that a realistic thing that is worth losing 5 days worth of pay. So like the first thing is that I tangibly need to look through a ton of bargain boxes, find cards that are gradable, and find just unique stuff that people are going to want. You know what I mean? Because a good portion of how I make my living is by grading sports cards and by flipping sports cards. So, bargain boxes are normally the most, I don't want to say the most easy way, but one of the easier ways to really capitalize on good return on your investment, because a lot of times the vendors that are there, they might not have looked through those bargain boxes for 6 months. And in 6 months' time, guys can pop, you know what I mean? And there's probably a whole bunch of people like, and I'm saying this just because I even heard Card Collector 2 say it, like, sometimes they can go 6 months without even looking through their boxes, So that's how you're able to find such good deals through these bargain boxes. So like that's where I kind of do my bread and butter, is just looking for unique singles at a cheap price. I do such damage in dollar bins. Like I feel like those are kind of like my sweet spots, where I'll look for cards that are like $5 and above. And even if I am to like go turn around and flip the card right away, it's like I just got 4x profit on this $1 investment. You know what I mean? So, but the thing is, most of the time, I would say at least a good 30 to 50% of the stuff that I normally get, my eye's decent enough to where I'm pulling 9s and 10s out of the bargain boxes. So a good half to a quarter of what I normally pull out, I send and get graded. And then you're talking about a $1 card that now, once you get it back, is anywhere from $20 to $150 roughly, depending on how good of a deal you found in that bargain bin. You know what I mean? For example, I was at a LCS in Ohio. I wish I could remember the name of it. It was more of like a comic shop. I will be dropping a video on this place, because one cool thing is I grabbed a 1983 Luke Skywalker sticker. I was like, hey, man, how much do you want for this thing? Like, he didn't have it in a case, a sleeve, nothing. It was literally just sitting on the counter. I said, hey, man, how much do you want for this thing? Knowing that there's some value to it, because A, it's Star Wars, B, it's Luke Skywalker, who's one of like the main characters in Star Wars. C, it's old. It's from the 80s. It's from the original Star Wars trilogy, which like people absolutely love. And on top of it, like cards, non-sports stuff right now is hot. So it was like the minute I got in the car, I was like, man, I wonder how much this Luke Skywalker is. So essentially, like I was going to offer the guy like, I don't know, $2-3 for it. He was just like, oh, dude, that's sitting on the counter. You could just have it. So I get to the car and I pull up eBay and I'm like looking to comp it, and I'm finding other ones that are listed on eBay in like the $50 to $60 realm. And literally, I just got that card for free. You know what I mean? It was one that was not even in this guy's bargain box. It was just sitting on his counter because he didn't care about it. And these are the kind of deals that you can realistically find. Now, I'm not saying every single time you're digging through somebody's bargain bins, you're going to find a $60 card. But if you can dig through $1 bins and find $3 to $5, that's a come up times 100, 200, however many you're buying. You know what I mean? So that's legitimately how I earn a living. Like before I got into doing the sports cards full time, I was doing storage lockers. You know, like I don't know if you guys have ever seen Storage Wars, like that type of stuff. Like that was like how I was making the bulk of my income, and that is back-breaking work, you know. And there's a reason I don't wrestle professionally anymore, because I broke my back. So once like I had the revelation the first time I graded cards, and it was like I literally had like $1 to $5 in everything I just sent in. First company I ever graded with was SGC, because of the during the shutdown, they were the only company open. So I sent some cards into them, and it was like as soon as I got them back, it was like they were gone. Like I sold, I want to say 8 of them over the weekend on eBay, and I made more selling 8 SGC slabs than I would normally make selling 40 to 50 items that I got out of a storage unit on eBay. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing this the wrong way. I'm literally killing myself on a weekly basis, breaking my back, you know, to like haul heavy items, go to flea markets, you know, list on eBay constantly. And literally in the amount of time, it might have taken me 5 to 10 minutes to list 8 slabs on eBay, if that. They all sold like within a day or two, and it was super easy. And I was like, man, like a light bulb went off. Like if I would just do this and put more of the money that I'm buying these huge expensive lockers for into just grading stuff, man, I could literally make money a lot more, like a lot more ROI is what I mean. Because I would say a good 50% of the cards that I own, I've pulled out of bargain bins. The rest I've probably either ripped or, you know, bought in lots or something like that. What's up, DJ? Good to see you, my man. Is there a Grail card I'm looking to pick up? Kind of. The one card I kind of have my eye on, and it's not going to be super expensive, and I haven't really decided if I'm going to get it graded or if I'm just going to get it raw and grade it myself. But I want to get Franco Harris's rookie card. I had one of those, and so I was going to grade it. And one reason that I have to put everything I'm going to grade away, like immediately, my cat loves these little tabbies that I use to put on cards, right? So I had my Franco Harris ready to go in for grading on one of these little card stands that I put up for the auction, literally just sitting on my desk because I like Franco Harris, you know? He's a double PC for me. It's Penn State and it's the Steelers. So it's like, man, like I want to have that. So my cat, being the jerk that he is, wanted fed, and I was sleeping and didn't want to wake up and feed him, so he decided to mess with my stuff. Long story short, he grabbed it by the tabby, ripped the Franco Harris out, and chewed up the card. So he destroyed my Franco Harris rookie card. So, and that was probably one that would have probably aided or better, because you guys know how bad centering, corners, creases, all that kind of stuff is on cards of that age. So, like, I was a little bit sick about that. So one of the cards that's in the back of my mind that I'm looking for there definitely is a replacement for my Franco rookie. Absolutely. Yeah, you could definitely write off all the expenses as a business expense, which I definitely plan to do. One other thing I really plan to do besides just the bargain box hunting and stuff like that, because tangibly that's how I'm going to make money. But like the thing I'm more passionate about than even flipping cards is like the content that I produce about cards. And my favorite type of content is sports card show stuff. You know what I mean? Like if I could do only one type of video on my channel, it would be doing vlogs of sports card shows. So my goal is to go there, and I'm going to bring several cameras, and the goal is to get at least 2 weeks worth of content for the channel based on being there. You know, if I can get more, cool. But, you know, I just think that that's like for me, it's a once in a lifetime thing, because I've never been to a national sports card show before. You know, like I've been to basically every single show that's been in Pittsburgh and Ohio, but, you know, maybe even some in West Virginia to an extent. But for the most part, like I stick to my tri-state unless I'm on like a vacation. Like I went to Las Vegas early in the year, and I was hitting up all the LCSs and stuff I could find out there as well. Just because I really enjoy going to a lot of different shops. I like experiencing card culture in different areas as well. It's just really cool. It's like one of my favorite things. Yeah, you agree 1,000% on bargain boxes, but for a 5-day show, you better hit them hard day one. Absolutely. I definitely plan on it, because that's the other thing. Like you'll see a guy like Card Collector 2 who owns a very successful card shop. He hits bargain boxes like crazy at these shows, and he brings them back, and he's able to sell them for more in his shop because he's finding stuff that's underpriced and undervalued. You know, so like if somebody that does this on a much larger scale for me basically uses that to help grow their business, you know, there's such tangibility if you're patient enough to dig through boxes, because it can be a real pain in the butt sometimes, especially whenever it's super crowded. What I do, like, here's something I'm legitimately going to do. Like, it's going to be ghetto, but this is a huge conference. And for those of you guys that don't know, like, when I used to wrestle professionally, I broke my back, messed up my hips, broke my neck. Like, so I have, like, a bunch of issues to where, like, standing for, like, 8 to 10 hours a day is not in the cards for me. So I'm legit going to walk around with a folding chair. And I'm going to literally park myself right in front of bargain boxes, because that's how I roll, man. Like there's several people that like literally know how to find me at card shows in Pittsburgh, because typically I'm that dude sitting on a chair pressed up against the bargain boxes with huge stacks of stuff, because like there's just so much money to be made doing it that way. So do you think non-sports like 90s Marvel will bump when big movies come out with the hype, or like Power Rangers or shows, movies coming out? I say some of the stuff probably, but some of the stuff no as well. Like I don't know that my Power Ranger cards have received any love, and they put out a brand new series every single year. So, but Marvel stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like I would imagine, I don't have very many Marvel cards in my collection, and nor like if I did, would I flip them, because like I'm really into, you know, just high eye appeal cards and stuff like that, and getting them slabbed up and making them look even cooler. But yeah, I could definitely see like the Marvel type stuff definitely continuing to do well, especially with the different stuff that they're doing on Disney Plus now, where they're able to basically bring you like mini series of all of the, you know, characters that we love going to the movies for now. So it's like they're going to be force feeding us content via Disney Plus, which I just think is awesome. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So autograph info, I believe, is what we were actually asking for whenever I pulled this up. Let's say what's up to Theodore. Appreciate you being here, my man. Exactly, man. Exactly. I do the same thing when I go to storage auctions. Like everybody is like literally looks at me and they're like, you're the smartest guy here, because they're all for like 2 hours walking around this facility, locker to locker, just standing there. You know what I mean? And like, I'll just bring a metal chair. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like in between lockers, I'll sit down and chill, you know, like I do the same thing at card shows for the most part. Now, if it's like ones in Pittsburgh that like, I know the people, like they'll just let me use one of their chairs. So like I don't necessarily need to bring one for like something like that. I'm sure also most people that have bargain boxes, they want you to dig through them, so they would probably let you use a chair. But I'm the type where it's like, why risk it? You know what I mean? I'll just take my own, boom, pop it right in front of some bargain boxes and just go to town. I could literally take an entire 8 to 10 hour day digging through bargain boxes just because that's my thing. You know what I mean? Like I just enjoy it because ultimately, you know how many Vergiles I've found that way, and like horrible Cavaliers or just obscure Steelers that if you're not from Pittsburgh, you've probably never heard of, but I like them because I grew up watching them type thing. You know what I mean? So those are always my favorite thing. Nice, Theodore. Vegas show in October, over 400 tables. That sounds awesome, man. There's definitely a lot of shows, like bigger shows, I'm going to be looking to go to, in the near future. I mainly, up until this point, really stick closely to Pennsylvania and Ohio. And then if I'm just happen to be in another state, I definitely try to check out their card community as well. But I think that's something I'm going to try to do at least maybe every other month, go to like one of the bigger shows. Another one I'd like to get to before the end of the year is the Dallas Card Show, because that one is like amazing from what I've seen and heard. It definitely takes a ton of patience. Absolutely. Yeah, binders are even easier because then you got like 9 cards at a time and you can just keep flipping, and if you don't see nothing good, it's like boom, boom, boom. Absolutely. Dude, that would be awesome, man. I would love to have something like that, like hanging on the wall at my house. You know what I mean? Like a chair signed by my favorite wrestler or something like that. That would be amazing, man. Heck yeah. Exactly, DJ. Marty is like the ninja when it comes to bargain bins. He's actually the one that got me put up on the bargain bins, because whenever I first started flipping cards, it was literally just whatever I was ripping. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't hunting every single card shop like I do now. And Marty's like, dude, do you know how many awesome cards you could have for like next to nothing if you just go dig through some boxes? You know what I mean? Like flea markets are another really great place to go. I just picked up a Troy Aikman and Brett Favre rookie card at the flea market, and the guy gave me 50% off a sticker price, which was awesome. Just because it was like pulled out of his bargain bins at a flea market. So those are always great ways to find good deals and stuff like that. So let's look into the packages here. Just like a quick little overview. So this is essentially kind of what it's going to look like. If you've ever been to a Comic-Con where it's literally just like wall to wall sports cards, everything hobby is literally going to be here. There's going to be a lot of the major companies there being represented. So this is going to be a great opportunity. It's literally going to be the equivalent of going to Disney World. Yeah, this is just like one shot of it. Like it's crazy. It's crazy how big this thing's going to be. But let me see if I can get you guys the information on the packages. So essentially, here's the ticket information. So if you just want general admission, it's only $19 to get in, which isn't bad for a show this size. But I'm most likely going to, I was going to say I was most likely going to go with that one, but it's sold out right now. So essentially, these VIP packages are even better, because you get, let me show you the stuff you get here. You get early show entrance all 5 days. So say there's a player you really want an autograph to, but his line's going to be crazy long. You can literally get in a half hour early and just get in his line before anyone else does. Or if you want early access to the bargain bins, that's the way to do it. So you can get a separate entrance. You get a VIP reception, refreshment, free autographs, all kinds of stuff. There's free autographs from 12 VIPs, which are basically listed right here. These are all the ones you would get for free with that package. So a lot of really cool stuff. First in line guests, all that stuff. you get 5 free TriStar authentications. So say you were to take a baseball card of, I mean, I don't even know who a lot of these players are. Let's just say Darrell Evans. Hopefully he plays baseball. So you get his card signed. You could go over to TriStar, get him to authenticate it for you right there on the spot. Or if you wanted to get like a baseball signed by him or whatever, like that's kind of cool. You know, you get 2 photo opportunities, you know, like all kinds of priority and stuff. So there's lots of really awesome packages and stuff like that they have. I'll try to see if I can get you guys info on all of the people signing. There's a lot of people going to be signing. Apparently it doesn't want to give me the autograph info. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot of famous athletes there, a lot of famous hobby people. Thank you. Appreciate you, Theodore. You played for the Tigers. All right, Detroit baseball. But yeah, it should be really, really awesome. I'm looking forward to it. The awesome thing is Card Collector 2 said there's 5 hotels literally within 100 feet walking distance. So the really cool thing is with so many people being in such a small vicinity, even at night in your hotels, there's like these like kind of like after parties where people trade, they do all kinds of stuff. So like even after the show's closed for the day, because here, I'll give you, okay, so here's the autograph info. What is this? Okay, so this would just be buying autographs. That's stupid. That's not what I wanted. So anyway, Card Collector 2 had a video where he was essentially saying that after the show can be even more fun than during the show. Because after the show, that's when you literally get to meet with all the other hobbyists that are there. You know, that's when a lot of trading and stuff goes down. That's where you can very easily sell stuff, from what I understand. And in Ohio, it's the same way. Like if you're walking around with a backpack, they'll ask you what's in the backpack and they'll offer to buy stuff from you. So whenever I normally go to the bigger shows in Ohio, I'll bring stuff because then the stuff I buy is essentially free because I'm selling off stuff I don't want. So I'm planning to do that as well. But on a show this scale, there's going to be a ton of people buying, especially like say graded stuff. Like if you had like say a John Morant and they're like, hey man, I'll just give you 70% of that. They turn around, put it right back out. It'll probably sell for 100% of comps. You know what I mean? So that's just the way the market's liquid right now. And oh, dude, that would be amazing, Chris. If Verjao is one of the signees, he will be on my channel. I literally am thinking about sliding up in his DMs to see if he'll come on for an interview. But the one requirement is he's going to have to wear the Cleveland Cavaliers Snuggie during the interview. That would be amazing. But yeah, so apparently there's 5 hotels literally within 100 feet of this convention center. So it's really easy to meet up with other people and stuff like that, which is super cool. That's what I'm kind of hoping for, is just to kind of be able to make some really good connections out there, because, you know, like that's all I keep hearing is like the best part from a lot of these larger YouTubers that go is just like the opportunity to network, collaborate, and those type of things. So I'm real excited for that aspect of this trip as well. Should be pretty awesome. But yeah, that would be pretty dope if Verjao was one of the signees. That would probably make my day. So let me ask you guys, any of you that have been to a larger card show, what are some things? Snug Life, you know it. What are some of the things that you would suggest for me, basically being a newbie to a show of this size? Like I said, the biggest show I've ever been to had 100 tables. And I was like, wow, this is like amazing. You know what I mean? So this is next level for me. Like I'm expecting a minimum of 500 tables to be here. Actually, you know, it might even tell me by going to the dealers list. 2021 dealers. So let's just see how many pages of dealers they have. They have 11. Well, this one only has like 2 people on there, but they have 10 full pages of dealers. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37 times 10, 372 vendors. So the way most vendors normally set up is multiple tables, because why would you set up just one? One table at a show like this costs roughly $450 to $500 for one table. That's like one folding table, $450 to $500. So you get a decent break on price when you have multiple tables. And if you figure you're going to have tens of thousands of people there looking at your stuff ready to buy, because let's be real, who doesn't go to a card show without having a goal and objective in mind for something you're picking up for yourself? Like most people do. Because for me, I know personally, I want to have a card that's going to have a sentimental attachment so that I can relive this experience over and over again. And I think a lot of people are going to be that way. So you got to figure, I would say close to 75 to 90% of these vendors that are on this list probably have more than one table. And if that's the case, then you're easily looking at 500 to 700 tables just based upon the math of how many vendors are going to be there. So like, this is going to be like crazy when you think of just the sheer volume of this. If you've never been to one of the bigger shows, which is just super cool. They've been actually sold out, pretty much the entire year, and we weren't even sure up until like maybe a month and a half ago that this was going to actually even happen, because Illinois was hit so hard with COVID. I completely agree, man. I love seeing the hobby get all that shine as well. Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have tried to do shady stuff, and that's the thing that sucks too, because anytime something is a liquid asset, you're always going to have somebody trying to monetize it. And unfortunately, you have those buttholes out there that are faking slabs, that are literally printing their own cards and trying to sell them as real. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very, very big market, unfortunately, of people that literally just get by on scamming other people. You know, which sucks. You know, like, even if you look into the TCG world, right? How common are fake Pokemon cards? Super, super common. You know, like I remember when I was really big into playing the competitive TCG, I would need to buy packs and singles a lot just to build decks and stuff like that. Plus, I ran a Pokemon League at the church that I was running as well. And, you know, just for the kids and stuff like that, something to do, get them off the streets, that type of stuff. So my mom would always be buying me Pokemon stuff because she knew that I was running that league. I would give packs away. I'd give cards away. You know what I mean? It was just a nice little positive thing for the community. So several times she would just be going around Pittsburgh. Oh, I see you're selling Pokemon cards here. Let me pick them up. And noticeably fake. Like, Pokemon's actually, like, if you know the cards well enough, it's really easy to spot fakes most of the time with Pokemon, just because most of the people fake them aren't that clever. So, but yeah, I mean, it's like that though, like with everything. But Pokemon's been, like, TCG and stuff has been something that's been like wildly faked for a long time. And I think a lot of people don't care as much. So, like, for example, if I was at a Pokemon League, right, and I had the same card, but it was a fake one, you could use that card as what's known as a proxy. So, like, if I wanted to test out a set without actually going and buying all the expensive cards it takes to make that set, you could either print the cards out on your printer, or you could just use the fake one as a proxy, because unless it's a tournament, you don't have to actually have the actual real card. It's very common for leagues and stuff like that, people to use fake ones or proxies. So there's actually a little bit of a market for that type of thing, you know, but for the most part, it's something that's very, very widely spread. I went on a vacation to Atlantic City a few years ago, and I was walking the boardwalk, and you would be shocked how many different like little mom and pop shops on the boardwalk sell fake Pokemon cards. Like almost all of the Pokemon cards you'll find on that boardwalk are all fake, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, like even legitimate businesses, like is kind of my point, sometimes will sell fakes and stuff like that. And a lot of times, like I don't think a lot of these people know. Like they might just be like, oh, I see like Pokemon cards on like Alibaba for like nothing. So why don't I buy them and sell them by the pack or rip them and sell them on eBay? Not understanding that those cards aren't like legitimate cards from the Pokemon company, because if they were, that same box that you just got for sub $20 would potentially be $100 to $200. So those are just a couple things that I think people fail to realize. I think a lot of times they think if it's coming from overseas, that just must mean that they get it at a cheaper rate. But I mean, really, you don't, because Pokemon box is worth the same value here as it is in China, even though they'd be using like yen instead of dollars. You know what I mean? And it'd be a drastically different number. It's still the same value ultimately. Exactly, Tom. I completely agree, man. Absolutely. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yep, Magic is definitely the same way. And I would imagine Magic would be even worse, because Magic is the most popular card game in the world. I did a video like maybe 6 months ago or something like that, where I was actually looking into different eBay stats and, just looking over analytics and stuff like that. Magic is so far and away the largest, most dominant TCG on all of eBay. It's insane. Like, and I think a good part of why Magic is so big is because I don't know Magic as much as I know Pokemon and stuff like that. I never necessarily got into the Magic part of things, but from what I understand, like the cards don't rotate like they do in Pokemon. Whereas if I have a deck that I really love, a year from now, I can't even play that deck anymore because card X, Y, or Z out of said deck have rotated out of standard competition. So essentially with Pokemon, you're always making new decks. You can't have like a long-term deck. Like I have this one deck that literally every single time I played in a tournament, I would come in first, second, or third with it because it was just a dominant deck. And the only times I didn't win, it was essentially because like it just wasn't flowing right. And a lot of times with TCG is, you need to build your deck in a way that it can flow properly. And with rotations and stuff like that deck, if I were to try to play it competitively today, I would just get stomped because the cards that make it flow correctly and make it so powerful, I can't use anymore in competitive play. So like, that's one thing I think bodes very well for Magic, that you can still use like a bunch of your cards and stuff like that. Oh yeah, absolutely, Tom. I completely agree, man. 100%. And that's the weird thing too, because with stuff like Pokemon, it's gotten to the point where literally the stuff is being packaged in legitimate like wax packs and in a box, to where like people buying it and reselling it sometimes don't even know it's fake. Like there's been so many people that like I've reached out to, like, via either their shops, eBay, whatever, just like, hey, just a heads up. Like, I see that you sell mainly other stuff. Those cards are fake. You know what I mean? And here's how you can tell. You know what I mean? And Pokemon, like, fakes are really bad. Like, you can tell that for the most part, these are cards that have been like photocopied. So they're always darker than they should be, for one. Especially if there's any kind of shine to it, they look super ghetto and trashy. What up, Inglorious P? What's up, my man? Good to see you. Yes, sir. I have shipped it. And if you would like, I can send you a tracking number right after this. Do me a favor, if you can, man, either shoot me a DM or actually my IG is scrolling right there. If you shoot me a DM after I get off this live, I'll send you tracking for your stuff, my man. That way you got it. Yep, exactly. And that's the way my mom always was too, because, she still buys me stuff like on the Reggie. Like just the other day, she showed up to my house with like 11 fat packs. You know, and I was like, wow, that is amazing. Like, that's just the way she is. Like, she knows I'm into cards. If she sees them anywhere, she just picks them up, you know, and that's normally how I get cards to like put in the auctions on Sundays, or, you know, I get cards to, you know, grade and, you know, stuff like that. Is she hooks it up, and she'll drop off like several packs a week. It's awesome. Oh, you did get mine. Cool. I will check with them. Nate, dude with the beard, he may be jumping in on this live stream. Just kind of waiting to hear from him. So if he jumps in, he can probably tell you like in the flesh. Paul, I will hit up after this as well, and I'll have him check for you. So, yeah, no worries at all, my man. I know sometimes the other guys, like if you only have like 1 or 2 cards or something like that, they sometimes will stack you just so you're not like paying shipping on something that like your order was less than type thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's what's happened or not, but I'll definitely find out for you. And if you DM me, I'll just DM you back and let you know what they say. Or I could even just give you their info as well, man. I appreciate that, man. I really do. But yeah, this show, man, is going to be so awesome. It really is. Just so much of an opportunity, and you can still literally get in for just $19, which is huge. It's crazy that they sold all these out, which makes sense. Like, I would probably limit this as well, because essentially if you're paying $19 times, what is this, a 5-day event? So that'd be roughly $100, you know, give or take if there's taxes and, you know, extra fees or whatever on there. So yeah, I mean, you literally for an extra $40, you'd be getting all kinds of extra free stuff, or for an extra $100, you'd be getting even more free stuff. So honestly, the VIP package right here, this was literally the deal of the century if you were going for the full length of time. Obviously, if you're going for like 1 day, like this, general admission be kind of where you'd want to park. But it just sucks that this is sold out right now, because this is literally where I would tell everybody to go with their ticket purchase. Because literally, if you're counting 5 days, you're at like $95 roughly with general admission. So for literally like 44, 46, whatever, my math is horrible, you would get a bunch of free add-ons, autographs, meet and greets, authentications. Like, no brainer. VIP package is the way to go. What's up, Shag? Good to see you, my man. So if you're going to be there all 5 days, super VIP is worth it because it's free parking. It costs $15 to park each day. Good call, my man. Good call. Thank you very much. Plus, you get double free stuff. That is awesome. Yeah, so dang, and I am going to be there the whole time. So like, this literally should have been probably the package I selected, was the super VIP. But I don't think I'm going to be driving. Like, luckily, I'm going to be there with some buddies. So if worse comes to worse, we can just share an Uber. I'm not sure how far we are from the facility. I know I heard Card Collector 2 saying there's literally 5 hotels that are within 100 feet of this facility. So that's super cool. I'm hoping we're one of those 5, because I would love to just be able to walk there every day and not have to worry about, you know, the $10 Uber charge or whatever the heck that would be. But I mean, really, to pay $20 a day in Uber, I'm fine with that if I have to. But ideally, if I can walk, I'd much rather do that. Are you going to be at the show, Shag? That'd be awesome if you were there, man. Let's see. So we got a little off topic. What up, Nate? Good to see you, man.
What's up, guys?
So we actually had a question here from Inglorious. He was asking, did he order cards off of you, or was it Paul that he had cards from? So I thought it was me, and I was like, I'll get you tracking after this because I've shipped it. And I guess it was one of you two guys. So I figured most likely he didn't have enough, so you just stacked it if it was you. But
yeah, I have cards that are going out. I was going to send them out yesterday, but I just left it for the auction tomorrow. So anything that anybody has stuff that they didn't get or whatever the case is, that it will be going out after the auction tomorrow.
Art, your cards are actually going to be shipped to me because I submitted them with a bulk order to get lower pricing for you, because it was 25 a card for the standard submissions. So I just submitted it with one of my orders, so that way you would get the lower pricing. Yeah, so we were essentially just discussing the national and stuff like that, different things to look for. In your opinion, Nate, what are some things, like, as you would be a first-time attender as well. So what are some things that, like, you're prepping for? Because I've been watching a lot of videos lately just on, like, prepping for the national, you know, stuff like that, because, like, this is something that, like, is going to be literally beyond what we're used to, because, like, the biggest show I've ever been to had 100 tables. You know, and this one has 372 vendors, and you figure probably 75% of those are probably going to have multiple tables. So you're looking at 500 to 700 conservatively as far as tables, possibly even over 1,000, depending on how many tables some of them have, because I would imagine some of the larger vendors most likely have, you know, access of like 5-6 tables, because even in Pittsburgh, you'll see some of the larger vendors with 5 to 6 tables. You know what I mean? Like, granted, getting a table in Pittsburgh is infinitely cheaper than it would be here, being that like $450 is the price for one table there.
Right.
But yeah, dude, that'd be awesome to go to Cleveland for one. That sucks they canceled that. There's 372 vendors total on their vendors list. So that's kind of how I'm, like, roughly getting my math of 500 to 700 conservative tables. I would imagine that we could be upwards of 1,000, you know, by the time this is up and rolling, just depending on, because if it's me and I'm getting a big price break per table, and I know there's going to be tens of thousands of people there to look at my products, I'm going to get as many tables as I can afford to buy, because I know that it's going to be worth the money, because, like, each table is basically worth its weight in gold, in my opinion. So, like, what are some like concerns or things you'd be looking into as, like, a first timer, Nate?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to the national this year, to be honest. I don't think I'm gonna make it this year. Just with everything going on at work and stuff like that, I don't think I'll be able to this year.
Gotcha.
I wanted to, I just, you know what I mean, just didn't work out or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, no worries. But if you were going to say like, because, I mean, who's to say you won't end up at a Dallas show, like, later on in the year, or even next year, or even going to another national? Right. So, like, if you were to go to a show like that, like, because I know that you always go into a show anytime I've gone with you with, like, some kind of a plan of attack of, like, why you're going, what you're looking for, that kind of stuff. Like, if you were to go to something like this, that is, like, literally, like, right now, like, I look at it like we've been swimming with the minnows. Like, a show this big, it's like you're going to be swimming with the sharks. So, like, you almost need to be a little bit more prepared going into something like that. You know, especially because you'll be dealing with, like, for example, I mentioned earlier in the stream that Card Collector 2, he goes to a lot of these shows and he digs through bargain boxes and stuff like that. So, like, you legitimately are going to have, like, some major competition trying to go after high-end stuff, going after the low-end stuff. Like, so there's going to be all kinds of different collectors there. And right. Like, the way I look at it, like, in Pittsburgh, the stuff that moves, like, the best are, like, the Steelers, Pirates, Penguin stuff, because obviously we're in Pittsburgh, but the demographic for a larger show is basically a national and or worldwide demo. So there's not going to be like, for example, like it is with us, where it's predominantly like Steelers and Penguins and Pirates stuff that, for example, if we were to be at a show in Ohio, no one's going to really care about that stuff, nor is it going to be super liquid. So I'm expecting this to, like, have a lot of liquid assets that appeal to a lot of different people.
Yeah, for me, it would be like for me, it'd probably be more or less like the silver market, and getting something that's the best value, because, I mean, with everything going on, you know, basketball's out of season, everything, or for the most part out of season, you know what I mean? the silver market is where it's at. That's where we've seen the most reaction and stuff like that for playoffs and stuff like that. So looking, trying to get ready for the following year or get some stuff that's on the decline because they're not playing right now. That's the best time to buy. So that would be more or less what I would be buying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's probably what I will be mainly focused on, is trying to buy in a little, because basketball pricing has even dropped a little bit more since most of these teams have been out, which is like awesome. I will be looking at a lot of football too, just because right now football's been the most liquid sport that I've had, to the point where like every single football card I had that I did not just buy in Columbus this week sold already. Like I literally had 0 football cards left. So like I purposely, like when I was digging through bins at Card Collector 2s and some of the other shops out there. Speaking of which, if you're in the Columbus area, you guys need to check out a place called Father Son Sports Cards. Had probably the best bargain bins I've seen outside of my little honey hole here in Pittsburgh. But they also had like slab bargain bins too, which was really cool. So I picked up like a bunch of like graded 8 Michael Jordans for like next to nothing, which was super cool. So yeah, if you're in the Columbus area, Father Son like blew me away with like their bargain bins. It was super cool. They had a lot of higher end stuff too, and they're like a pretty new store. So definitely check them out if any of you guys are anywhere near Columbus. One of the better LCSs I've been to, and I've been to a lot of them. I've been to like almost all of them in Pennsylvania and Ohio for the most part, like at least in Western Pennsylvania and Northeastern Ohio. Been to literally all of them, but that one like blew my mind. They were that good. I like normally like I'll go into a card shop with Marty, and normally he spends infinitely more than me. We left out of this shop. I think he paid like $120 some for the stuff he had. I paid $375, and I left with an entire monster box full of stuff.
Damn.
Like this is what I got from that shop. But like the stuff I was picking up was like killer deals. Like I think I picked up like 22 slabs from them, and like, dude, like since I haven't been getting submissions back, like I have no slabs to sell. Like
right.
I'll sell my Varejao collection or like any of my PC stuff.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like I've started selling some of my PC stuff just to have slabs available for our auctions. But like going to this place and like literally having a bargain bin for it was like the greatest thing ever. Like it was like, you mean I could literally go and buy slabs from you for less than it costs to send that card in all day long. All day long.
It's definitely a buyer's market. I mean, I've been tracking different stuff that I have and stuff like that, trying to figure, should I hold, should I sell, different things like that. And, stuff, there's some deals out there, that's for sure.
What percentage of your collection is basketball right now? Like of the stuff that you have to sell, is it mainly basketball?
Yeah, it's probably like 90% basketball.
Yeah.
Which with the market kind of being how it is, and now the off season starts, it's actually something I shouldn't have as much of. But
dude, you're gonna be like Brad though, man. Like, because Brad, comeback card investor, he put almost all of his capital into football, and like now that football is like super super hot with Trevor Lawrence mania, like it's paying off for him big time. You know what I mean? So you have all of your capital into basketball. Now we're gonna have an extended like off season, you know what I mean? Like we haven't really had that, you know what I mean? Like most of the markets burn out on basketball. So like once that goes away and then it starts to get hot again, because you figure the other sports are going to start to cool off, and then everybody's going to be excited about basketball again, So like at that point, I think you're going to probably like, even if you were to sell right now at like fair comps, like I would be shocked if you're not making a good 40% more on your cards at that point, like right before the season's getting ready to start.
Right.
Especially because you have some like pretty high end stuff too. Like you're not just like selling off like the like dollar bin fodder that I normally flip. But yeah, man, like I really believe that market's going to rebound, because like this whole time it's been crapping on itself. I just kept buying. Like for my own personal like investments, like I've been taking the opportunity while things were cheap to like actually go and buy like autographs of like the players I wanted rather than just like their base prisms, which, dude, you saw like early on, like whenever I really started taking investing seriously, I had so many base prisms. Like basically anybody who was anybody, I had like a 9 or a 10 base prism of them. You know what I mean? And to the point now, all of those base prisms, with the exception of Jason Tatum and Zion Williamson, I've sold. Those are the only base prisms I've kept. I have for my investments, I should say, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because like I'll pick up base prism all day to flip because people still buy it. But for my own personal investments, like I would much rather have like, say, a Zion red, white, and blue like you have, you know, just because that is more scarce. There'll be a little bit more in demand. And like, honestly, like one thing I've been seeing lately is like a lot of autographs, like really starting to go up in value as well, just because again, it's most of them are numbered, you know what I mean? They're a lot more rare to get, you know, most boxes, packs, or whatever you open, you're not guaranteed any form of autograph. You might be guaranteed like one parallel or something like that, or a silver, you know? So like getting that autograph potentially could be a case hit depending on what autograph you get. And then if you get something that's like numbered low enough, like you could be talking to like something pretty substantial, you know? So like that's been kind of like my focus as far as like my investments lately, is turning a lot of the base stuff. Like I literally took all of the base John Morant stuff I had it all in like PSA 9, BGS 9, you know, SGC 9. I literally sold that stuff and put it into getting PSA 9 rookie Prism auto of him. You know what I mean? Because I figured, man, like long run, like that's the card I want in my collection. I want something like truly unique. You know what I mean? And that's kind of been the shift in focus for me, like over like the better part of the last year as the market's like softened a little bit. It's been more so just trying to differentiate what card is a long-term hold from what card is a flip from what card is, you know, just something to throw in my PC because it's cool. You know what I mean? So those are definitely some things I like to consider, you know, when I'm out sourcing for cards and or like really just deciding what I buy now. You know what I mean? Like dude, there's been so many nights I've just been laying in bed bored, would drop $400 or $500 on eBay. Just like, dude, like you will, you know what I mean? Like all those late night snipers where you had your super scope from Super Nintendo, you know what I mean? Like you can get such good deals, like to where you can literally get the card in the mail within the next week, list it on eBay and sell it for what it should go for as a buy it now or best offer. Because people, dude, I don't understand why some people do auctions. Like, because ultimately, like you get these people that do auctions that end in the middle of the night where there's literally nobody watching. You know, unless it's like somebody like me or Nate who purposely stays up knowing that somewhere in the world there's somebody dumb enough to end an auction when the majority of the world is asleep. Especially like, say, for example, football. Right? So if you have a football card ending at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, like say East Coast, like most people in the United States are asleep at that point. You know what I mean? And that is a very North American sport. You know what I mean? There's not people like, you know, over in China right now, like, you know, talking about, oh man, I can't wait to see what happens this NFL season. They don't care. You know what I mean? So for the most part, the people that are searching for that listing, you know, are the people who are fast asleep. You know what I mean? So like you can get such good deals just going to auctions that are expiring at bad times. Like that's the number one online arbitrage that I do, is just looking for bad auctions. Another thing you can do, look for misspellings. Like you would be shocked how many people will misspell something and still have it at auction. And the way eBay's algorithm works is, like, for example, this show, if anybody's watching right now for the first time, you're watching because I have in the title something about the National Card Show. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't be clicking on because you're like, oh, this is Picksburgh. He probably has something cool to say. You might not know who I am. So eBay is the exact same way. They find your listing based on your title and the keywords you use. So if, say, you're putting Zion Williamson, but you're spelling it like completely wrong, nobody's going to find it unless you're an idiot who spells Zion Williamson wrong. You know what I mean? So that's literally going to be the people dealing with it. Or people like myself who purposely will go to these websites that will I could just type in Zion Williamson regular, and they have websites that you can literally go and it'll filter all misspellings of his name on eBay. You know, so like there are literal free websites you can go to, type in anything you want to look for on eBay, and it'll find misspelled variations of it. And 9 times out of 10, if it's an auction, you're going to get that sucker at least 40% off what it should go for. Sometimes more, just because no one finds it.
Yeah, the only people that would find it would be that if I'm looking and searching by just basketball cards or whatever, you know, searching as a whole. But if you're looking for a specific player and you want to buy that prism or that you know, that something else or whatever the case is, it won't show up. So it takes away a large chunk of the market, because not a lot of people search the way that I search, because I'm looking for overall any basketball card or graded card. Like if I put PSA in the title, you know, that would pop up or whatever the case is.
Yep. I'm gonna look it up because I don't have it stored on this computer. I had it on my MacBook, which I don't currently have due to life issues. So I'm gonna Google it right now, and I'll actually share it with you guys. It's literally pretty unique. Like you can not just cards. Like I use it for cards because that's mainly what I like to buy and sell. But you can do this for anything. Like say you buy and sell hats or shoes. You know, you have it, Nate?
Yeah, I got it. 1 second.
Okay, cool. Just pop it open whenever you can. I was gonna say you might even been the person who told me about this. Actually,
no, I think you told me about this, I believe.
Well, then credit to whoever told me, because I don't remember who it was.
I just bookmarked it and still have the you know.
Nice. Okay, fatfingers.com is what it is, guys. Nate put it right here in the chat for you. Oh, right there. Fatfingers.com. So yeah, definitely the next time you're looking into any kind of, you know, arbitrage on eBay, look it up on there, see what you can find, because there's tons of opportunity.
Especially right now.
Yep. Especially with the market being at a dip. Like we're in a buyer's market pretty much right now. I mean, unless it's football, F1, you know, like any of the stuff that's like really, really hot right now, like that stuff is super liquid to where like it's almost a seller's market at this point.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely made me think like what I should hold, what I should keep. Like I still have the Aaron Rodgers PSA 10, and like I'm seeing his prices dip even a little bit now. You know, that all
scared with like not knowing what's going to happen in Green Bay and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, so I sort of understand, like, you know, why that might be or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's rough. It's just kind of like Deshaun Watson right now. Like, if you believe he's going to come back and have a productive career, and he can get past these like allegations that have been brought against him, he might be an awesome buy right now. But if you think that, you know, like he's basically an idiot and he's done, then he's not. Like there's a lot of players out there right now that due to some kind of like off the field circumstance, their prices are just completely down right now. You know what I mean? But also at the same point, like what Rodgers off the field issues with Green Bay is doing for his values, hurting it. It's actually helping Jordan Love's values on the flip side. So like where every negative situation like that, there's always, you know, sort of a positive. Whereas even Deshaun, if he's not going to play, okay, well, who's going to be the quarterback of that team? Because that guy's value is about to go through the roof. It's about to be the whole Ryan Finley thing last year when Joe Burrow went down. You know what I mean? Anyone that was banking on Finley, it's like, all right, now people are probably picking up Finley because he's getting that shine. It's like right now everybody's picking up Jacob Eason because no one believes – well, I don't want to say no one, but a lot of people don't believe that Carson Wentz can stay healthy for a full season. And Eason is still a young guy. This is going to be his second year. He's a lot of potential. So, you know, I think football is one of those markets that's like very day-to-day with what's going on off the field and like injury-wise as well. Whereas like you can have a guy like a Ryan Finley that really is not worth a whole lot, but then he's all of a sudden like your every week starter and his stuff starts to become more valuable because who knows, maybe the next year he goes and, you know, he earns himself a starting gig somewhere. You know, you don't know what can happen.
Right.
Yeah, but that's another thing that makes, for me at least, investing in football a little bit harder. Like if I had a Patrick Mahomes, like absolutely that's an investment card. You know what I mean? Like there are certain players, like even your Aaron Rodgers to an extent, like he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. So theoretically that could be a long-term hold for you if you wanted it to be, especially since it's a PSA 10, which is like literally the top of the resale market regardless, because PSA is king and they demand 20 to 40% above everybody else minimum. So that could be a long-term hold for you, but the weird thing with football is like it's so skewed towards the quarterback to where like people are spending more on guys like Jared Stidham than they were on Christian McCaffrey just a year ago. It's like Christian McCaffrey is a freaking stud, what I mean? Like I that blows my mind, you know what I mean? And like it's one of the hard reasons for me to like really dive full in on the investment side with football is that it bothers me that there's like these stud players that even like have huge fantasy impacts that literally don't get the love they deserve as far as their sports cards go. And I remember even as a kid, because I could like my favorite sport to collect as a kid was football. And dude, I remember like Barry Sanders rookies had value. Like, did you even get value out of like Deion Sanders rookies as a kid? You know what I mean? Granted, like if they were like still playing and they were hot and all that stuff, but in comparison right now, like if you were to put like a Barry Sanders up against like say Dan Marino or a Joe Montana, I would say equally as good at their sport or at their position, just dwarfs the value like long term, which sucks.
Yeah, it's crazy how football is. I just hope that it just kind of improves with the Trevor Lawrence mania. You know what I mean? And people will see that there's untapped potential that maybe got some cards in early. I bought a couple different like raw cards of Christian McCaffrey and Select and different things like that, thinking like, well, here comes the wave for football, and it just never really came. But now with all the hype with Lawrence, I'm hoping that does come through. But I have some stuff at PSA that I've sent in, that's football cards and stuff like that. I wish I would have sent my JJ Watt, but well, it probably wouldn't have 10. That's how I take it back. It's a little off centered, but it was this rookie silver from his rookie year. So I was gonna get that graded, but I just never sent it in. Did you see what the PSA was saying about their? Yeah,
I dropped a video on it the other day.
I saw the email I got. The email the president emails me or whatever, I guess, with a newsletter, and I'm disappointed that they didn't open up their economy and everything like that, especially with football is.
Dude, I figured with the interviews Nat Turner's been giving, like, because I watch a lot like Saturday nights, like what's his name, Sports Cards Live will have like bigger people in the industry on his channel, and he's had Nat Turner on several times, and the past several people I've seen him talk to, whether it's Jeremy over there at Sports Cards Live or whether it's like Jeff at Sports Card Investor, like every single time he's used wording like we'll be opening up some services. You know what I mean? Like we're not fully opening up. We'll be doing this or that. You know what I mean? So like ultimately, like I was kind of banking to see something like 75 to 100, like a mid-range, like economy service open or something like that. Not literally just the same express that you just paid $75 to grade that Aaron Rodgers now being a $200 service. You know what I mean? Like I don't value that.
The only good thing is, in my opinion, is when they do open up, I still think that I'll be right about the price. Because if you think about it, when they had everything open, they had Express up to $150. So they bumped it up $50 with it for Express, which it is Express. So they went higher end stuff. They figured, okay, we need to make sure, we get a little leaner. So when they do open up, I still think it'll still be in that like 35, something like that.
I hope you're right, man. Like one thing that like kind of worries me in regards to that too was the news that they just bought Golden Auctions, which is literally like the most high-end auction house for like sports cards and collectibles in the entire world, which like would, if they're doing a lot of collaborations, selling a lot of their stuff through there, leads me to believe that they're going to be targeting a lot more high-end clientele, a lot more high-end cards. And like, because let's be real, man, like for $200 even, like I don't know that I would even send in your Aaron Rodgers you have there. You know what I mean? Thinking it's going to 9 or a 10, like that would be a hard sell for me. Like, because for the same price, or I mean, for the same card, I could send that to SGC at 30. You know what I mean? So it's like literally paying $170 more. And here's the thing, even their Express, like I was watching a video that Retro Hoops Collectibles put out. He was breaking down their actual turnaround time for Express. Essentially, you'd be looking at about 3 months for that $200 that you're paying right now. You could get an order back for $30 a card from SGC right now. Granted, you might be at 20 to 40% less in resale value, but you're also 30. What's $30 as far as a percentage of 200? You know what I mean? It's got to be like less than a quarter of the price, right? 6
or 7, something like that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I think personally, with the way it is right now, if you're looking for top dollar back on your investment, like it would almost be, for me at least, I would rather send the Aaron Rodgers to SGC, get it back in like 2 weeks, put it on the market and get what I get, rather than paying $170 more to send it to PSA and getting it back like a minimum of like 2 months later, you know?
See, the thing is though, like, you know, but like, for example, that Aaron Rodgers, you know, when I sent that in originally, I think was around 1100 or, like 1100 or so, right? Now it's at 9, maybe 8.5, something like that right now for that card.
Yep.
You know, what is the value for that card to another company? I mean, it's probably, even with the difference in price, you're still probably going to, you know, come out ahead with PSA, and you know you are going to get that back pretty decently fair, you know, for the you know, for the price or whatever. I mean, so
yeah, I'm the same way, Tom. Like I'm buying their slabs all day, every day. Like if I can get PSA slabs at a value right now, like that's one of the arbitrage I'm doing, because right now to get a card in their case is like unattainable to most cards. So for example, a Prism base, like say a Prism base LaMelo Ball, like even that you might not want to send in $200 to $300. You know what I mean? Just because who knows, like 2 years from now, if that LaMelo Ball is going to even be worth $300. For example, I have a PSA 9 Zion Williamson right now that is literally worth sub $200. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what you got to think about. If I would have sent that Zion Williamson in at $200, got the PSA 9, I would already be taking a loss on that. Granted, Zion is like a long-term hold for me. So like I'm really only holding that card till I upgrade it. But you know what I mean? Like those are some things that my mind gradually floats to, is like, at these prices, unless it's a big card, it's hard for me, you know, as somebody who's not balling, to be able to justify spending that, you know, where like I know for a fact I'm going to make less with another company, like any company, like even Beckett, right? Even if Beckett had the exact same price, exact same turnaround, you still go with PSA because you're going to get more money from their stuff. But if they were substantially cheaper, like SGC is, like, you know, and SGC gets pretty close value to Beckett, in my opinion. Like they're pretty spot on as far as like their resale values, on at least from what I've seen, just searching the market and stuff like that. They're pretty close in comparison as far as their comparisons and stuff like that. So for me, it's like if I can get something that is basically like 2B, like, because you got to say Beckett's number 2 in the industry, because you know they were number 1 before PSA overtook them. You know what I mean? So like they were an industry standard for a long time. But I definitely think that SGC is on the come up, like as long as they don't screw it up. You know what I mean? Like imagine if they wouldn't have upped prices to $75 a card. Like imagine like what kind of market share they might even have right now. You know, but like that's such a good value to be able to get like one of the better resale values for like less than a quarter of what you're paying PSA. And a better turnaround time for it too. That's the crazy part.
What's how much is it per SGC grade, you said?
It's $30 per card unless you do a group submission with somebody, because they do have approved group submitters that they do give cheaper rates so that they're making money with the company as well. So they can theoretically, if you're in my group submission, I could be like, okay, Nate, $29, you're happy, you're saving $1, but they're probably getting it at 25, so they're pocketing $4 on it. You know what I mean?
So a recent comp that sold SGC 10 sold for $435 June 24th, and then another one sold took a best offer for $549. So I mean, honestly, the price differences would be better to spend the $200 because you'd be making more with PSA, because PSA's comps are around, like, you know, even on the low end, like 7.5.
At the same point, how quickly is the slab going to move too? That's another thing I look at, because if I'm spending that $200 and tying it up times X number of cards, like say it's one card, right? If it's your Aaron Rodgers, then theoretically I don't have a problem sending one card for $200. But like normally when I send cards, like, you know, dude, like anytime I ever send cards to PSA through you, you get a blaster box with like 40 to 50 cards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, and most of the stuff I send, like I've sent you most of my better cards, but theoretically I'm not sending anything that like is going to light the world on fire. Like I'm not sending equivalents to Aaron Rodgers rookie cards. Like, you know, like some of the bigger stuff I might have sent is like Anthony Davis rookie cards, or, you know, like stuff like that, like hoops rookie cards, like not even like big stuff. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just really hard. Tom, I'll probably be doing one in the next couple of weeks, to be honest. The only issue is SGC will not make me a preferred group submitter. So I literally get 0 discount for doing it. So that's part of the reason I have not like taken a group submission for them recently, because like they're literally giving people an opportunity to make money with them, but apparently I don't qualify for that. So that was literally the only reason I haven't done one yet. But I most likely will in the next couple of weeks send something over there, because I have a group submission that is several cards are being sent one place, several being sent to another place. So the other place is most likely going to be SGC for most of the people who have opted to go to SGC, I should say, at least. Because a lot of people were sending in some, you know, pretty high-end stuff that they're not really willing to wait 199 business days from CSG. By the way, they just opened my second order yesterday, but really Marty's the only other person on that second order, so that wasn't necessarily worth sharing in the chat. But that does mean anybody else that submitted a SG or CSG order with me, it'll most likely be opened in like 2 weeks, because we sent that one 2 weeks after this one. So yes, all of the CSG cards should officially be received within 2 weeks, I would think, unless they get backed up.
How big of a difference between timeline did you send the last one from the second one?
2 weeks. I sent it 2 weeks after. So this one that I'm waiting to be submitted was received. Well, was received at their facility on April 27th. I shipped it like earlier that week, somewhere in that range. But they received it that day, but they don't count it as received until they open it, which takes 2 to 3 months for them to open their mail. So like that's the main reason I haven't been doing group submissions there. Not that I don't believe in their slabs or their product, because like they've had good resale value. Right. You know what I mean? And I'm a really big fan of CGC, so it's only natural that I would be an early adopter to their process. But literally, you're looking at Beckett/PSA wait times. If you figure they're going to wait 2 to 3 months to open your order, your process doesn't even start till then. And they were at 199 business days. They just upped it to 206 business days. So they gave themselves another week on top of that business week. So you could literally be looking at a year to get your cards back. You know, like it's crazy, dude. Like, but with PSA down, Beckett down, you know what I mean? Like SGC raised their prices for a long time. So most people were looking for a reliable place to submit bulk to. And HGA, you can't submit more than 5 cards. And most of the time you can't even get in. Like the whole time they've been open, I got 1 order into them in the entire time they've been open. So that left CSG, in my opinion, as being the most credible company. You know what I mean? Because the people that, at least for me, I was going to them because I was a fan of what they did in the comic book world. And as long as that company is behind this company, like I think I can get good resale value out of it. And clearly a lot of other people felt that way too, with them being as backed up as they are, you know. Tom says, how about this? Is GMA still worth using to slab PC? Personally, I think so. The only thing I will say is, like, there's customizable companies like Pure Graded and some other companies that you can basically at bulk rate, like $2 more, get a much prettier slab. But I definitely think GMA, like, especially compared to like a newer company, GMA doesn't get respect on the market. Like, I go to a card show with GMA slabs and people basically laugh at me. But if I go on social media with GMA slabs, I can't keep them in stock. So, like, if you have the proper avenues to sell their product, it's liquid. But if you don't, it's not. So it's like one of those things. Like, and if it's PC and you just want it in a slab, then yeah, they're perfectly tangible to use, especially when you can get a bulk order in at $8 a card. You know, that's right now, to my knowledge, that's the cheapest bulk rate on the market is GMA at $8 a card. Do you know of any company that's cheaper than that right now, Nate?
I'm pretty sure that is definitely the bare bottom, like, entry for any type of slab, no matter what the company is.
The only issue is, like, going into it, just know that if, say, you get a GMA 10, you're going to be basically getting the equivalent of like a PSA 9 sales off of it, because the resale value is not there. But if you're somebody like me that digs through bargain bins and you're literally just trying to take a card that you paid $1 for and make it anything that's like $30 to $100, GMA is perfectly fine for that, because you'll definitely get that that turn and burn. And that's the thing, Tom. Like, the bulk of like the comments I get anytime I've ever released a GMA video is like, dude, you're an idiot. I can't believe you would send cards to that company. But it's like literally every single time I send cards to that company, they're gone. They're sold. Like, I can't hold on to them. I'm making money. Like, I think the worst I've ever done was 3.5 times my money. And that's with me keeping cards for my own personal collection out of it too. Because every single time I send out a group submission, I always have cards that are PC in there. You know, like I send in my Verajals or my Cat Relics or, you know, X, Y, or Z player. Like, I have a ton of Okoro graded through them right now. Claypool graded through them right now. Just because I was doing group submissions and I knew that once I sold my stuff, I could still come away with a minimum of 3x my return and have free graded cards on top of it for myself. So, that's the thing. Like, there's a market for everything. You know what I mean? Like, the thing I like about GMA is I look at it this way, right? If you were to open a grocery store, you could have Whole Foods, you know, which is super expensive, super premium. You know, obviously they would probably get like the top of the market, but there's a good portion of the demographic that can't afford to shop there on a regular basis just because it doesn't meet their income level. Yeah. The nice thing about GMA is that meets every income level. You know what I mean? Like, when you're talking about buying cards that are graded like $20, sometimes even less, like, anybody can afford to buy something for $20. That's the way I look at it. Even a kid can afford to drop $20 on something. You know, my nephews on the regular are saving up $60 to buy new video games. You know what I mean? And they're like between the ages of 5 to like 12 years old. You know what I mean? So if somebody in that age range can afford something 3 times the amount of like even a low end slab being sold by them, that's one of the reasons I use it, is because I open up the people that are willing to do business with me. Because look at it this way, there's a guy like Nate that once he understands that GMA might actually like grade stuff fairly, he might think there's an arbitrage here. I can buy this GMA 10 off this idiot for $20, send it into PSA, turn around and flip the thing for, you know, $150 or whatever it would be. You know what I mean? So there's an aura of like arbitrage to their slab to me too. Like, if I see their slabs out cheap, I always pick them up. Like, if I can get a GMA under what it costs to grade with them, I always buy it. I don't care if it's at 8. You know what I mean? Like I bought several 8 Michael Jordans just this past week. It's like, number one, it's Michael Jordan, the greatest player who ever lived. Number two, it's slabbed. Number three, you can't even pay the company the amount I paid to get that slab. So it's essentially like you've already made money on the grading, plus you got the card for free.
Right.
So that's essentially kind of like what I've been trying to do at GMA. MSC, what is up? Where did I go to college? Okay, so I actually have a couple degrees. Like I'm not like a graduate degree person or anything like that, but I have an associate's degree from the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. I studied design and marketing there. And then I also have, I guess you could call it a certificate from the NWA East Academy, where I trained to become a professional wrestler. And I also have a license from going through seminary school as well. So actually I have 2 licenses from going through seminary from 2 different denominations. So yeah, I went to 3 different schools. One was the NWA East Academy, one was the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and the third was the Northeast Ministry School. But honestly, like I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys. I went to the Art Institute basically because like I had a grandmother, right, who was super proud of, in high school, I won this like nationally recognized award because I did this artwork graphically. It was basically a picture of Jason Gilden, who used to play for the Steelers, and it won national awards, and the Steelers actually chose to take the artwork I did and display it in Heinz Field for several seasons. So like my grandmother was like so proud of me about this. So like basically on her deathbed, she was like, promise me you'll like do that with your life, like go to school for that. Personally, my choice, like I always wanted to go to Penn State for school, but like for that reason, I chose like graphics and that kind of stuff. But if I had to do it over again, I probably would have went to Penn State or Pitt even. But there's literally a Penn State campus less than 5 minutes from where I live. So it would have been like the natural choice, like where I live, just to go to Penn State. Obviously, I probably would have been able to play football. Well, at least the good football. I say good football, like the Joe Paterno football. Like I wouldn't have been able to play that kind of football, but they do have like their own teams for the New Kensington branch. You know what I mean? Like where they have their own basketball team and stuff like that. So theoretically, if I wanted to play college sports, which I always kind of did, you know what I mean? Like I probably would have went to Penn State or Pitt. But for that reason, I actually went to the Art Institute and got my degree in graphic design and marketing. But I mean, I can still use it. Like the beautiful thing is I have to do thumbnails almost every day for YouTube now and stuff like that. So theoretically, I can still use that degree. But in my opinion, I wasted like $80,000 going to that school because I graduated. And one of the reasons I chose there is because their admissions department tell you that they guarantee job placement. So after I graduated, they placed me in this place in downtown Pittsburgh, which was like literally the worst job I've ever had. Essentially, I was Xeroxing stuff for like attorneys' offices. And that was the design job that they had set me up with. Like I literally, like if I was at Kinko's, I would do more design work than I did at this place. I literally just stood in front of a Xerox machine, Xeroxing files from like attorneys and stuff like that all day long. It was horrible. And I'm thinking I literally just wasted $80,000 to scan Xeroxes for $10 an hour. Like this is horrible. You know what I mean? But like now that I'm doing different things with my life, you know, i.e. YouTube and different creative like aspects, you know, work wise and stuff like that. I can apply those, you know, that education. But the crazy thing is most of the stuff I kind of already knew, like minus like the deep like marketing and the psychology behind that stuff. Like I knew how to do most of the artwork stuff just from high school, you know what I mean? Because most high schools, like since like they started rolling out graphic arts and stuff like that, have really good graphic art programs. Plus the high school I went to is literally one of the wealthiest ones in the state of Pennsylvania. I went to Fox Chapel. Like, you know where that is, right, Nate?
Yeah.
Like I was one of the poor folk going to Fox Chapel, but literally being that I went to Fox Chapel, I had access to state of the art everything, my entire education. So Like we were up on that stuff, like at that school, like way before a lot of other schools were.
Yeah, Fox Chapel definitely, has a lot of funding and money in that area, that's for sure.
Yep. I agree, Tom. Completely agree, man. It's tough, man. Like I still owe a ton. Like honestly, like COVID hit, I just deferred my student loans again, just because, the way it's structured is that I'm not going to be paid off of those till I'm like in my 60s anyway. So it's what it is, Not in any rush. I was kind of hoping that these like student loan forgiveness programs would have like done something to like help. They should do something for the people who just get like screwed. It's like, hey, we just spent all kinds of money on this education that we can't use.
Part of the reason why I didn't go back to school. Like I just felt like unless I was going for something like a doctor, a lawyer, something where like, of course you need like that degree, like to basically get a job in this field or that field or whatever, which, obviously I didn't think I was going to do that type of stuff. So I didn't go back to school, but, I just felt like for me, like some of that just, I don't know, it wouldn't help me. It wouldn't help me today, because of, me being a knucklehead, but you know what I mean? Like either way, like I'd have been just thrown away then because of that. So I mean, in a way, I actually like saved myself, that same burden or that thing to have to deal with. So
that's the difficult thing now, because so when our parents were coming up, people went to college, but it wasn't like I feel like our generation, like we were raised like, dude, you're going to college, you're going to get out of school and you're going to college. Like, at least that's the way my family always was. Like, graduate and you're going to go to college. Like, and I feel like that's like people that are our age or younger have kind of been raised in that mentality. Okay, if I'm going to have a good job and be something in life, I need to go to college. Right. Whereas like our parents' age and older, it's like, I would bear to guess like there's probably a drastic increase of people going to college, families having people enrolled in colleges like post a certain time. So I feel like honestly, it's kind of like what's with any market where it just gets like overly populated. Like for example, the base prism market, like it is way down because why? There's like 1 million base prisms. And we can see that even by looking at PSA's pop report. Like there's 1 million PSA 10, PSA 9s, or like whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's the same in my opinion, like these people coming out of school now, because we're just conditioned to do it as like something we need to do to be successful in life. Not even understanding the fact that a lot of people that own the companies, you know what I mean, may not have had that same kind of pedigree that you have, because if you look at America is basically founded on immigrants coming over to this country, busting their butts, doing what they were good and passionate about. You know what I mean? Like, and most of those immigrants, dare I say, probably weren't the best educated people. Not that I'm against college. I just think that as somebody who's been burned by the collegiate system, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't do it again. Like if I had a kid, I wouldn't force my kid to go to college. Like I would suggest it like, hey dude, if you want to be a doctor, you should probably go to medical school. But you know what I mean? If you want to be an entrepreneur, or, do whatever, and you might want to be a mechanic, let's put you in a trade school, something like that. You know what I mean? But for the most part, like you don't necessarily need any form of like expensive education to do job X, Y, or Z and be successful in life.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're like, say you're going for business and like, maybe you're not as good in something else. You could take like a like summer class or like something like that where you get like a little bit brushed up on something where maybe you need a little bit of help and don't need that full scholarship or whatever, or not scholarship, but that full schooling for or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So this way you're not like, having to go through all that because maybe you're not as good in math, or maybe you want a little bit more of a knowledge in accounting. So this way, when you run your business, you know what stuff you can write off or whatever. Mm-hmm. So this way, when it comes time to do taxes, you can do it, or, you can have a general idea like what stuff you could spend money on or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with you, Tom. I actually spent a year working in admissions for a company that was outsourced through the Art Institute. I got hired because I was a graduate of the school. Like literally the entire reason they actually recruited me because they were looking for like former, I guess, graduates that weren't working in the field that were looking to come be a part of something to do with the Art Institute. So they actually like, one of the reasons I was let go from the company, I was like one of like 10,000 people that they let go. But the reason that I was one of the ones let go is because I refused to basically just bring people in, just to earn the, the kickback or the commission on their applications and everything like that. Like, for example, there was this one guy, special needs. And like anybody that knows me on a personal level knows I have a huge heart for anybody that has special needs. You know what I mean? Like I even worked professionally in that field with people with special needs for 10 plus years. So anyway, like I was interviewing a guy because I was in charge of admissions, and I literally got in trouble because I would not push this guy through into the, he wanted to become a video game designer, right? Like that was his dream. He wanted to design video games. So essentially if you're going to apply for that major, you need to submit a portfolio up front of your drawings because there's a lot of drawing incorporating with video games to the point where when I was working there, I got free admission to go and finish up my degree to get the full bachelor's and stuff like that, which like I never ended up finishing because I wasn't there long enough. But essentially what they wanted me to tell this kid is, look, man, we understand your drawing skills aren't really up to par with where they need to be for you to be in here. But why don't we do this? We'll put you in the graphic design program. You'll take a couple drawing classes, and then you can submit that to get over there. And my thing is like with drawing, like you can learn stuff to make you a better artist, but that's a natural God-given talent. You know what I mean? Where me, like I grew up drawing and I can draw decent stuff. And truth be told, I did not have a strong enough skill set to be approved for that major. Like fully transparently, I was not good enough for it. So there's this kid that literally sends me like glorified stick figures. And they're like, yeah, let's just get him in. We'll get him into, and he can do drawing classes and stuff like that. I'm like, do you understand that like even with the drawing classes that I took as a graduate of the school, I still do not qualify for this major. Like he will never get approved to go there. So essentially you're bringing him in, wasting his money, and basically just gonna say, oh, too bad, man. You just won't make the cut. You know what I mean? Like how messed up is that to like literally bring somebody in, collect money from them under a major that is literally not even what they want to do. And just with letting them know, oh yeah, we'll get you switched over after you take these classes. Like it's not the way it works. You know what I mean? So because like I was always the person where I was like, yeah, screw that. I'm not lying to these people. Like I'll just tell you up. Like, dude, you just don't draw good enough. And that's not a knock against you. I don't either. And I graduated from this school. You know what I mean? Like literally like the people they're looking for to be video game designers are like the people that draw like that crazy, wild, like fantasy stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
anime,
like the Final Fantasy type games, like people that can make that. That's what they're looking for. You know what I mean? They're not looking for people like you or me who can like doodle something that might look good, but ultimately can't be used on a professional project. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the anime type stuff.
Yep, exactly. That's the exact type of skill set they're looking for. Somebody that could literally animate like anime type stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you did what was right, man. Like, and I'd have did the same thing because, if somebody can't, or, if you got screwed over, why are you going to, basically do the same to somebody else? You know what I mean? And these colleges and stuff like that, that's all they care about is money, the amount of people in their school for funding. And, that's about it, basically. They don't care about anything else.
Pretty much. And it's sad, man. It really is. But like, honestly, most of the people you'll meet in admissions, like they're just people that are literally being forced to like feed you a script, you know what I mean? And like, if you believe in the school and like, there's not like any kind of like shady practices happening, like there's no problem with following a script. It makes you more efficient at your job. But you know, like if you're somebody that's like actually been kind of like boned by the process of attending the school, and then like you're purposely saying to mislead somebody into thinking they can get into this program that they're just not qualified for. You know what I mean? That'd be like me saying, hey, Nate, I'm going to hire you to come work for Picksburgh. Your goal ultimately is to become a vlogger, but you suck at vlogging. Like you just can't hold the camera straight and it shakes and like all of this stuff. You're probably never going to ever do vlogs for Picksburgh because no one's going to want to watch it. It's going to make people sick. Like the camera will literally be shaking like this. You know what I mean? Like it's literally the exact same concept where it's somebody literally did not have the skill set to do what he wanted to do, and they're like, yeah, we'll just bring you in anyway, and you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But meanwhile, you would have already signed away your life. So we are like getting X, Y, and Z.
I think it's crazy is like the way they look at it is anybody can become anything, no matter what their skill set is. And if they don't have that skill set, we'll give them a course or send them a tutor or whatever the case is, so that they can get that. But in all reality, if someone can't draw, so I'm not gonna say never can draw, but I mean it would take a lot of help to like do that. You know what I mean?
And no worries, MSC. Like our Saturday show is essentially a Q&A anyway. So like even if it's not pertaining to sports cards, you guys are welcome to ask us anything. Like some of you guys might even be wondering what Nate might look like under that beard. I'm wondering the same. I haven't seen my friend's face in several years now. So yeah, there's really nothing off limits, guys. You know, if it's like ridiculous, I might just laugh at you, but like I will still answer your question for the most part.
If I get this, I apply for another. There's been jobs open up left and right at my work, and I applied for another one. And if I get this job, which I don't think I will, because it was a little bit outside of my realm, but
yeah.
What's it called? If I get that job, I'll trim the beard. It'd be a desk job.
There you go. Could you see Nate sitting in a cubicle working all day? Like I would love to see that. Hello, thank you for calling Nate Dizzy.
The one thing that this job has that my other one doesn't is no Mr. Burns. So I would lose Mr. Burns he would be out of my grasp. That was the main reason why I even thought about applying for it.
So I guess one thing I should probably ask you, like on the topic of cards, are you planning with tomorrow being the 4th of July? Are we still doing our auction same time, same day, or what's your plan with that? I know we haven't actually talked about that, but I figured while we're here, we can at least promote what we're planning on doing.
And I mean, if you're good for it, I'm good with it.
I should be like, dude. If anything, I'll probably go like grab some food at my aunt's house, but I could literally be available if need be.
Yeah, we're doing stuff. We're doing stuff today. So tomorrow I doubt we'll be out and about. Everyone will probably be tired and sunburned. We're gonna go swimming and run around and do some different things today.
Nice.
I told the kids, I says they wanted to do something last weekend, and the place just wasn't. There was no way for us to get in because like everyone and their mother wanted to go swimming last week. So I says, well, we'll go next weekend. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better. More people want like vacation and stuff. So hopefully it won't be as crazy. So we're gonna go down early.
Nice. So what are the odds that every day I'm hustling is going to be rocking a Speedo? You guys are out there.
All negative 1,000%.
He's going to be walking around like Borat with that banana hammock, like very nice.
I'll be wearing some hoop shorts and beard and hair flowing.
Yeah,
in the wind.
Man. If I ever get to the point where I can lose enough money to have abs, I probably would rock a Speedo, but I don't really foresee that day ever coming.
I mean, you definitely lost some weight, so who knows, man? Could be on the way.
Dude, I've been stuck for like over a month, and I'm literally 10 pounds away from being able to get my hips fixed.
Really?
I have to be under 300 pounds to be able to get my hips fixed because I guess like the weight that it would take to do it. So like I'm literally 10 pounds away and I've been stuck here for like a month, like just driving my face into the wall trying to lose this next 10 pounds.
Dude, that's huge, man. I remember, you're at one point you didn't think you'd get there. I mean, look at you. You're 10 pounds away, man. So.
Dude, I was like over 400 pounds on January 1st, bro. Like it's crazy. Like just mainly just diet. Like I exercise very seldomly just because of like my back and my hips and like all of the stuff I deal with from wrestling. But yeah, it's literally just changing like what I eat has been like the biggest like game changer for me.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
proud of you, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So, is there anything, man, that you would want to promote before we start to wrap up? We've been live close to about 2 hours now.
So we got the auction on my channel tomorrow. Let me find the link real quick.
Yep, which his channel is Everyday Im Hustlin, just like you see here on his nameplate. So for any of you guys that aren't subscribed to him, I also have a link to his channel in the description of this video as well. So you can always find him over there. Next weekend, when we do the Saturday show, it'll be on Nate's channel as well, because he and I alternate every week. Like, since I have this show today, he'll have the auction, and then next week I'll have the auction and he'll have this show. So it's always important you check him out too, because I'm over there, at least once a week on his channel.
Yeah. Here's the link. 1 second. And here's the link for it. It's all set up and everything like that.
Got anything else coming up that you want people to know about?
You never know, man. I'm still trying to get things settled over here to kind of figure out what's going on. But I'm always gaming on Twitch as well, and I might be dropping some different content with that, with gaming and stuff like that on my channel as well. Just to bring some.
Yeah, I would, bro. Like, dude, like as big as like gaming is, bro, like I feel like you could make yourself a nice little niche with it, especially if you're already doing it too. Like I don't know how, like I've never Twitch streamed without doing it through StreamYard, but like, is it possible, like while you're doing your Twitch, just to like pipe it through multiple places like we do with this kind of show?
Yeah, I did that. I think the first time I went live with, with the, I did that on my channel or whatever, and I was live on multiple accounts and stuff like that. Nice. It's just a little harder to manage, just from you got to have everything set up, like playing a game on this screen. Yeah. On this screen, I need to be able to watch 2 different chats, and it's not like it's not like on one StreamYard or whatever, unless actually
I was gonna say on StreamYard it normally will bring them under one.
Yeah, I could do that. Instead of doing it on both, I could just set it up on StreamYard.
Yeah, even if you just screen share what you're doing through StreamYard, and then you can make your game like full screen. Yeah, and that would be a good way to even like say you wanted to do something like this, like where say I'm your game, and then there's you over here just chilling playing it. You know what I mean? Like you could do that through it as well. The only problem is, like, honestly, like one thing I've been noticing a lot lately with StreamYard is it's been super laggy, like really, really laggy lately for me. I don't know if it's because like I've started streaming to 3 different places, like because right now we're live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So like I stream directly to my Facebook page now too. And I don't know, honestly, that might actually be hurting me a little bit, because like since I've started going to Facebook as well, I noticed that I have less people actually coming over to the YouTube side. So that's probably something I need to kind of figure out. I agree, Tom. Like guys like say Deafness 45, for those of you guys that haven't checked out my man Deafness, make sure you go check him out. Boom. I feel like his channel would do great over there on Twitch, just because he's primarily a live streamer. You know what I mean? More so than, because YouTube favors pre-recorded content so much. You know what I mean? Like there's honestly people that do like mainly live content. Like I was just saying yesterday, it might have been even off air, but Tommy Bernard, man, like he has an awesome late night show that he does. You know what I mean? Like if YouTube pushed lives the same way they do like pre-recorded, I bet you that dude would have like over 100,000 subscribers, just because the quality of what he does is awesome. You know what I mean? Like all of the things he has integrated. Like I integrate stuff into here, and like I feel like I'm Pee-wee compared to like the way he runs his live stream. You know what I mean? So like, but then again, YouTube doesn't push the lives as much because they get paid more off of the pre-recorded content and stuff like that, just with ad suitability and stuff like that. You know, for example, like me and Nate could be on here dropping every cuss word under the sun. And if that were the case, there would be several advertisers that would not want to be associated with our content.
Right.
So that's something that you need to think about too, is YouTube doesn't know what's going to be on there. Like they might see a title, they might see a thumbnail, but their algorithm has no way of knowing. Like you normally, if you go to monetize it, you have to say, you know, it's okay, no cussing, no this, no that, but they have really no way of checking that pre your live stream. And honestly, there's a lot of people that aren't going to go back and watch live streams. Like I've gotten a few people here and there that go by and be like, oh man, that was some cool stuff you had in the auction. I rewatched it. But like ultimately, like whatever views I have on an auction after it's over, I might get like 10 more that trickle in, and then like that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? And live streams are that way too. You know what I mean? Like unless it's like something that's a really popular like podcast or something like that has a nice following or whatnot. Like I feel like Twitch would be a lot better for people that mainly do live streams, because that's what they're pushing over on Twitch is the live content.
There's a lot more for the, you know,
I agree,
the person to watch. You know what I mean? Like for example, our audience. You know what I mean? You can make custom, like a lot of custom emotes. Like you could do that on here, but like you can do way more. You can set up like talk to text type stuff. I mean, there's a lot of.
Just imagine the possibilities, man. Just
right.
You like the Snuggie, by the way? Thought that was a nice touch.
I'll have to try and find that for you for your Christmas or birthday gift next time.
What, the Varishal Snuggie?
Yeah,
I would rock it, dude. Honestly, I'm literally considering sliding up in his DM, seeing if I can get him on for an interview. I literally might like that guy more than his parents.
Might help keep him around for next year. I'd be like, you know what? Someone brought me on this show. Like, I gotta.
Yeah, I bet you Kobe Altman's like, man, Pittsburgh's talking about Varishal a lot. We should probably bring him back and let him fill up this, you know, the last 10 days of the season.
Right.
Wouldn't that be awesome if like Kobe Altman like actually cared what I thought?
Like, you know what?
Maybe bring him back Ilgauskas too, if that was the case. Like he's probably like 45 years old and like not able to move right.
What was the first year that you had season tickets with the Cavs? Or pass?
Year before last.
Like, look, this
right as COVID started, I picked up the season pass because I was doing a 5-game pass before that. But when COVID started, they had a lot of their season ticket holders bail on them. So essentially what they did was they started reaching out to the people that had the 5-game passes and offering them upgrades to like, you know, season tickets, quarter season tickets, half season tickets, or whatever for like literally next to nothing. So I own a quarter season tickets to the Cavs, and I chose a quarter season just because I live in Pittsburgh. It takes me 2.5 hours to get there. So that's 5 hours of driving both ways. You know what I mean? So obviously I'm not going to, you know, every single home game that they have because of that, you know, but I can theoretically go to 11 home games. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Like I'll go once or twice a month and be more than happy with that. And the beautiful thing is with me owning a quarter season, I'm able to combine that down to like, say, Nate's favorite team is the Lakers. Say the Lakers were coming into town and, you know, I wanted to bring him, I wanted to bring Gate City, and I wanted to bring like other people. I can combine multiple games into one and get multiple tickets for that one game. You know what I mean? So that's another like really nice, like flexible thing that they offer. But essentially I pay like a grand total of like $53 some change per month for a quarter season tickets. It's insane, bro. Like if I were to just go to their ticket office and we go to the game, I'm probably spending that just to buy cheap sheet seats for us to go to that game. You know what I mean? Once, but I literally get a quarter of the season for that. Plus that comes with a whole bunch of added benefits. Like I get a bunch of special giveaways. I get access to their lounge. I get to go and meet the number 3 overall draft pick in a meet and greet. You know, once he like, so anytime you ever see somebody get drafted, like even the Steelers, like the very next day they're in Cleveland for, like a Q&A, get to know the player type thing. So like the Cavs offer that every single year. Their season ticket holders get to go and meet that player. At the end of the season, their season ticket holders, they basically chop up their old floor, their court, and they put in a new one the next year. The season ticket holders get a chunk of that floor. And their names are like, my name is actually on their floor right now, which is insane. And then they have like a lounge basically with this big plaque thanking all of their season ticket holders, and like my name's on that too. And like literally it's for the price that it would cost for like me and you to go to a game with cheap seats. You know what I mean? Like it was such a no-brainer. Like for what I pay for the entire season, like quarter season tickets, like I probably could have went to like one Steeler game. You know what I mean? Like, or two. Like it's insane like how cheap it was.
That's crazy. Yeah, they probably seen you bought your season tickets with the COVID starting and everything like that. But like, you know what? Everyone else ran away from buying tickets and doing this and that. This guy bought tickets.
Yep.
Let's get his input on let's see.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. I definitely think I'm reaching out to him though, man. Like I just think that would be like the most iconic interview, like for my own personal self I could do.
What pick does the Cavs have this year?
3.
Again.
Well, they were 5 the past 2 years.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that is right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking they were 3 last year.
Well, no, actually, no, they were 5 last year and then 8 the year before because they've dropped the past 2 years in standings. Like they theoretically should have been like between 1 to 2, at least 2 of those years, and they weren't because of the lottery just not following the way it should have, But this year they actually moved up. They probably should have been around like 5 to 6, but the lottery like favored them this year, which is good.
Is there any have you looked at the hoop draft or like the picks? Is there any is there a crazy top 5 coming up through the ranks, you think, or anything?
Yeah, dude. Like I think they're gonna get somebody pretty good, man. Like I think Cade Cunningham's gonna probably go number 1 to the Pistons. Like I'd be shocked if he doesn't. He's kind of like the consensus number 1 guy. But I mean, there's even some guys like that they could even trade down for, like maybe like Jonathan Kuminga. He'd be a nice wing for them to add. There's another big, what the heck's his name? Just brain farted. But there's a big that I've seen them taking in a lot of the mocks and stuff as well. So it really just depends on what happens with 1 and 2. But I would imagine the Cavs are probably going to go best player available.
Yeah, I mean, if they keep Jared Allen, long term, I think they're good there. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I just think they need a 4 or or a replacement for Sexton or Garland if they choose to move one.
The beautiful thing, Tom, is like I actually appreciate when people that dislike me dislike the videos because it tells YouTube's algorithm that somebody's reacting to my content. You know what I mean? So imagine like the people that put out videos that are just very negative, right? And they just get tons of hate. Their video still gets pushed because people are reacting to it. YouTube says, oh my God, people are clicking on this video and they're having some form of reaction. So they'll push it. So like, yeah, I genuinely appreciate the thumbs downs just as much as the thumbs up. I mean, the thumbs up make me feel a little bit better about myself, but like, honestly, like the thumbs up or thumbs downs help as well, to the best of my knowledge, at least. That's why, honestly, if there's somebody I don't like or appreciate their content, I will literally not subscribe to them. I will not like or dislike. I will not comment because I'm not going to like give you a little bit of help if you're a butthole. So I appreciate the help because it at least shows YouTube that somebody had a reaction to what I did. So, but I mean, it's all good. Like it's that way. Anything you do in life, you know what I mean? Sometimes people just get jealous because they can't do the same things, and
exactly.
I get it. Like I actually just posted something on social media the other day, like in regards to like actual trolls, like the people that are literally like just do and say stuff that's hurtful. Like 90% of the time, like you could come to one of my videos and you'd be like, you're a fat moron that knows nothing, blah, 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 cuss me out. 90% of the time I won't get it because YouTube has this thing called like a spam folder to where anything that it deems to be inappropriate, it'll hold separately. So like that way, like they don't want people to get discouraged and quit making content, because that's how YouTube makes their money, is by putting ads on stuff. And now they even have it so, like, say if you have less than 1,000 subscribers and less than 4,000 watch hours, so you can't be monetized, YouTube's now monetizing those videos for themselves. So like they make tons of money through their platform. So they try to do everything to keep people motivated to keep producing content. So like I actually love the spam folder. I remember one day, I don't know if it was you, Nate, or if it was Paul or whoever it was, we were literally going through, it might even been Marty, we were going through reading my spam folders. Like I had a Bible study like early on before we moved our Bible study over to the Flippin' Hope channel. I had a Bible study on the channel, and this dude like ripped me so hard for it, just for talking about the Lord. Like he literally was like, you're probably like a pee-pee touching pedophile priest or something like that. Like legitimately, like, and I'm just like laughing hysterically because this guy was so triggered by the thing. But like YouTube hid that from me. Like I found out literally a year after that stream that there was even anything commented on that video. You know,
you
like
said something
in the beginning, I might not have continued doing it because it's like, oh man, people like hate me just for like, sharing my faith. You know what I mean? But
I remember like I think it was a comment I seen or something on my channel, and you're like, man, I don't get those. I must have the nicest views in the world. And then I was like,
it probably was you then.
You look at this folder and you're like, oh my goodness,
yeah,
what is this?
Yeah.
And it was just a whole bunch, because you make a lot of videos. You did daily uploads for a long time, so you're gonna get a few of those from time to time. So you got a year's worth or so stashed away.
Yep. But guys, we are going to get ready to wrap up for real this time, because I got to get my dogs to the groomer before 2 p.m. Eastern, which is like less than an hour from now. And I have no help getting them there. So I have to somehow carry them both and transport them in my vehicle, when like I have little yappy dogs that want to be on my lap 24/7. So normally, like when I go to get them groomed, I have somebody else with me to hold them. So this is going to be an interesting ride to PetSmart. So I'm going to get ready to wrap up, but I appreciate you guys genuinely. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Nate's channel. I'll more than likely drop a vlog at some point as well. You guys would be surprised. I probably have about like 20 to 30 videos ready to release. I just haven't had time to edit it because I've been so busy just with like work and life and stuff lately. So there's a ton of content coming. I even have videos coming where I look much fatter than I look now. Like that's how you can tell they've been in the kitty for a while. But like I have a ton of good stuff, like bunch of card shops I went to. Bought my first graded comic book yesterday. So I'm pretty excited about that. There's going to be a video of the shop I went to yesterday and where I got it and everything like that. So should be pretty cool. Plus I got one of Card Collector 2's shop coming out as well when we went to Columbus. So that should be a pretty dope video. But I appreciate you guys. Make sure you check out my boy. I'll see you later. May God bless you.
Peace.